Good morning, good day, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to your entertainment for today. I am DrTorment, your local favorite Eldritch Lich with kitty chaos happening in the background a little earlier than expected today. I am a horror narrator. I indulge myself in classical writings and gothic poetry here and there, as well as a gaming session every blue moon or so. Welcome to the live stream, which is going to be a nice little calm hangout with not as much chaos going around, Eve. Alright, fine, you're allowed. The kitty chaos has started a little earlier than expected, as I said. But welcome to everybody already present. I've seen a couple of you already waiting. That is nice. Welcome. Let me see who is all here. I think I saw Cindy. Yes, there she is. Hello, Cindy. Welcome. Also, Dreadful Raven. Welcome. Hello. And thank you again for being the mod on today's live stream. Dreadful Raven is going to be the moderator for today, so y'all better behave. Can't believe I just said y'all. So everyone better behave. Otherwise, she's going to peck out your eyes, and I will laugh and point very loudly. Rose, welcome. Hello, indeed. Hello, welcome. House of Jen is one of the patron members of the channel. Welcome. Let's see, I saw somebody else here. Nat just dropped in. Hello, Nat. Hello. Hello, Victory. Welcome. I've seen you last stream. Hello, how have you been? How have you all been? Do tell. How has everybody been since the last stream? Also, if you hear a little bit of pitter-patter going around in the background, where I'm at, it's raining heavily. Belgium is basically the mainland Britain, more or less, when it comes to the weather. So yeah, once again, if you hear a little bit of pitter-patter, that's because of that. Read back on the chat what's been said, so just so that I'm a little more in the loop. Let's see. House of Jen says, I'll be in and out as I'm running an event right now, but want to be here to support. Oh, thank you, Jen. Thank you very much. Yes, I'm going to guess it's a event over at your Discord, over at your Discord server. Yes, gotcha. And indeed, Cindy, the music is always so creepy. I believe in setting the mood, as one should. Nat is currently drawing a BUS. What is a BUS? I'm not familiar with this abbreviation of yours. Little succubi lady. Rose says, ha, you can blame me for the yawl if you wish. Yeah, actually, I am going to blame you. Hey, kitty, what the hell is wrong with you? You're on my lap already. Jesus, not enough. Yowling? As I was saying. Yes, Rose, I am going to blame you for the yawl. Victory says, I'm slowly getting my channel stuff set up. Ooh, nice. When you say channel stuff, anything in particular you're doing there, Victory? Nat the unordinary big vehicle that go vroom. Smiley face. Also, yes, Rose. Indeed, she is indeed upset I said y'all again. She is a very classy lady, this kitty cat. Dreadful Raven was watching Supernatural. Oh my god, what season and episode? Do tell. Now, immediate. I demand to know. I need to know. It's been such a long time since I've watched Supernatural. Oh, I forgot my phone was not on quiet. It is now. It would have been awkward if we heard these cutesy little noises coming from this Eldritch Lich's office. Victory says, mainly visual stuff and getting used to editing and recording software. Okay, good, good. Looking forward to that one. Always looking forward to that one. I've already introduced myself, haven't I? Yeah, I've already introduced myself. Anyone that comes in new, I'm a horror narrator. There you go. Season 2, Episode 4. Oh, the Azazel season. Nice. Nice, Raven. Nice. So that seasons 1 to 5, in my opinion, are the best seasons of Supernatural. There's no argument. It just is. So I have no idea how long we'll be keeping the live stream going, but I'm not going to be doing this. I'm not going to do today for too long. Let's say around the same time as last time, 3 hours, 3.5, maybe 4 if the mood strikes me. Dreadful Raven says, I've seen up to season 12, missed 13, 14, 15, except the last episode, of course. Of course. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff happening as Supernatural in the later seasons. I'm not gonna spoil it for you, but let's just say I'm a fan of the earlier seasons. I'm an old lad. Victory says, high chances that the first public video is gonna be Doctor Who video essay because my micro-obsessions totally don't control me. I believe you. Your micro-obsessions do not, absolutely, control you. Absolutely not. Not at all. I am thoroughly convinced that your obsessions do not control you by that statement. For those who can't tell, I'm being excessively sarcastic. Hello, welcome back to my desk, Mother Cat. How have you been? Ignoring me all day except when I'm live streaming, of course, because then you know there are other people listening. Yes, I know. So, while we are in this live stream, let's do what we always do. I'm going to set up a cute little Q&A. Here we go. Yeah, you know what? Just gonna keep it simple. Ask anything within reason. Mind you, any questions you may or may not have for me, you can also ask them in the chat, but this way it's a little more orderly. So I can definitely differentiate between... Look, wow, my English is stupid. I can definitely keep a difference between spoken chat and Q&A. It actually helps out a lot. There we are. So the Q&A little bubble you'll see pop up right above the pinned message. So if you got anything you want to ask me or want to know something, maybe a fun little fact about something I happen to be an expert of, Lord of the Rings, by all means, ask me anything. I definitely wasn't giving any hint or anything like that. Absolutely not. Star Wars! No, that wasn't me. Kitty cat, was that a big old hairball you had, huh? Yeah. Weird noises you make, it almost sounded like words. And that said, there will of course, there will always be a live reading, but I'll be doing that a little later on in the live stream, just to warm up the vocals a little bit, if you will. Oh, wow, there's actually a question in the Q&A. I did not expect that. Nice. Rose, do you know what Rohan means in Sanskrit? I know this. I've actually had a conversation about this with someone about, I want to say, a month ago. Oh, good lord, what was it again? Do not tell, Rose. I swear, I will punch my screen if you do. Let me think. What's the conversation about? Hold on. That's not something to arise or to rise. Something like that. Ascendance? Ascending? Something like that, right? Tell me I'm right. I will be paranoid if you don't tell me. I'm already paranoid. 6 voices going through my head. It helps. Yes, I got it. Yes, I'm once again the expert on my own live stream. Ha! Narcissistic behavior. Who would have thought that from an eldritch lich? Accompanied by those chaos kitties. Also, not to worry if you hear the cats in the background, they're just tumbling and playing upstairs. I have a wooden floor upstairs, so definitely is audible. Rose, one of the kids I babysit for is named Rohan. Really? Well, parenting done right. Good. Good. Victory says micro-obsessions. Always thought macro-obsessions was a better word. Micro-obsession sounds too small. Nah, not really, Victor. I actually get what you mean. Like, the little micro-obsessions can compound and become quite big, can become quite a big controlling factor, especially in content creation. Don't you worry, I am familiar. Rose, his mom is Indian. Ah, all the better. Wait. Now, I feel like this is wrong to ask, Rose, but what variant of Indian are we talking about? Like the subcontinent or the, I've forgotten the word, I almost want to say locals. No, not locals. Indigenous. Just curious about that. Dreadful Raven says, I also have a wooden floor and kittens playing on loudly. Yes. You understand my pain, Raven. Rose says, I don't know the details, but the kids are all learning Hindi. Alright, subcontinent India then. Gotcha. Thank you. Thank you very much. That said, I also want to give a little shout out to Lady Spookaria, because she did the kindness of also promoting this live stream on her gaming channel, which is Lady Spookaria Gaming. Let's see, Raven, if you would be so kind, could you please provide a link to Lady Spookaria's narration channel in the chat, if you can, please? By all means, everybody, if you haven't subscribed or visited Lady Spookaria, give her a visit, tell her I said hello. And yeah, that's about it. Comment on her videos, feed those algorithm demons we all so loathe in our lives. Victory. Despite my title, I'm not in possession of a third friend. That is quite alright, Victory. You can have friends in spirit, that's fine. Spirit animal, yes. Rose says, it's a completely fair question. Not all Americans are intelligent enough to say indigenous. I mean, you're preaching to the choir, Rose. I mean, I wasn't really assuming a lot about most of the citizenry of the United States by default, by what I've been seeing in the news and in certain circles, but yeah, I'm familiar, don't worry. There he is, the one and only. Dreadful Anecdotes. Indeed, by the gods, 'tis me. How have you been, man? How's editing going along? Rose says, yeah, we're special. Yeah, I know, the US citizenry really is God's chosen people, aren't they? Yes, very specially chosen indeed, with a very big special bull. Oh, that's some nice lemon water. Hear that, YouTube? Lemon water. It's very kid-friendly. Dreadful says, editing is going fine, cooking at the moment. Oh. And pray tell, if I may ask, Dreadful, what is thou cooking? And Dreadful Raven, to be fair, when you've been taught that language from a young age, it's hard to fix. Ah, right, the Hindi. Well, I can't really put an input in there. I'm not a linguistic expert when it comes to Hindi. But I do know a few people that have been taught Hindi from an earlier age, and people that have been taught it at a later age. And there is a difference, like the accent is a lot thicker. And that's by no means me demeaning that or anything at all, like. But it's just a fact. Like, if you've known it, if you speak it for a longer period, and you've known it for a longer period, you'll definitely have a bit of an accent going on. Rose says, real short bus material. Did that reference make it into Fox for parland anymore? I mean, yeah, it did for me, but I'm not going to elaborate, just to make people think. Victory, I've barely dealt with that kind of American. Luckily, I've only really stayed in the respectful areas. Good. Good, trust me. I don't know why, but why is it that the other kind of Americans you're referring to, Victory, are the ones that I usually find in tourist areas? Obnoxious as hell. Dreadful says, no. Dreadful Raven, I have to be mindful which Dreadful I'm talking about. So, Raven, if I'm referring to, I'll for now say Raven. If I'm referring to Anecdotes, I'm referring as Dreadful, because I know him too long by Dreadful by now. Raven says, no calling Native Americans Indians. I do agree, and if I did that, I apologize. I was referring to the subcontinent of India kind of Indians, not indigenous Americans. But if that wasn't coming through in the translation, by all means, I do apologize if I did so. Dreadful says, it's yet one of those experimental abominations. We'll see how it turns out. Ah, okay. To be fair, Dreadful, I'm a little more familiar with the Italian cuisine, and I do have to say, it's very much improv. It's very much improv from the start. Like, whatever ingredients you have, you can make a Italian dish from it. People who say that pasta is a luxury food, it absolutely is not. Like, give me 10 or 15 euros, and I'll cook for 8 men and still have leftovers at the end of it. Unbelievable. I'm just not a fan of those overpriced things. Ugh. Oh, wow. My inner Italian was coming out again. Not anymore as of yet, says Rose. True, true. Let's see here. Raven says, pasta is amazing and versatile. Yes, it is, and a very cheap dish to make. So once again, if I see any prices that are above 15 bucks and it's only like one plate with like not even enough pasta in it or enough sauce to cover it, please, where is the bar of gold I should get with this? For that price, my god, it's nah. Oh, Cindy is going to leave for a moment, I think. All right, see you later, Cindy. Unless I missed that in the chat. Oh, wait. Cindy says, well, I'm in Virginia, so please don't judge me by others in the US. No, of course not, Cindy. We wouldn't dream to judge you by other people from the US. Don't worry about it. Rose says, Native American versus Indian. Apologies if I'm being pedantic. That's quite all right. I guess you can. You know what? I'm not gonna touch that thread. I'm a European. I'm not that versed in the American ways. Dreadful Raven says, yes, Rose, that's what I meant, indeed. Dreadful Anecdote says, so what's on the menu tonight, sir? Well, today... What the hell did I have for food? Wait, hold on a second. So basically I had takeout today because I wasn't up for cooking at all. I wasn't really in the right mindset. So I had some takeout. It's what we call around here a kapsalon. It's really nice. So basically what it is, well, the translation for it would be barber shop. Now don't ask me why this is the name. I have no idea. But what it actually is so it's fries with meat on top of it. Then comes a sauce like mayonnaise, ketchup, something spicy. Doesn't really matter. Layered with molten cheese and then vegetables on top of it, of choice. It really is more delicious than I make it sound. It's actually nice. Well, it actually put a smile to my face. Oh, Anecdotes. I was thinking about what's the plan for the stream, but hey, appreciate that info too. Well, yeah, I misread your message, Dreadful. So, plan for the stream is simple hangout, interact with the chat, say hello, have some ha-has, do some live readings of short stories, and 1 or 2 poems. We'll see how long we'll see how long we'll keep it going on for. Victory says, speaking as a member family who had to immigrate, being white is way too much of a benefit in America. True. Right, with that also being said, while I do get where this is coming from, just keep it less political on the live chat itself. Like that is actually tolerable. Like I completely understand where this is coming from, and I do agree, for the record. But I'm not. Yeah, political stuff. At a minimum, at best. I'm not going to outlaw it like it's part of everybody's life, but at a minimum. Rose says, can has pasta. Yes, you can has the pasta. Raven says, I grew up being taught that, and I still catch myself doing it on rare occasions. Wait, what are we talking? Wait, did I miss something again? Oh, but I believe that's on Victory's comment. All right, no, gotcha. Rose says, switch the fries for tortilla chips and you almost have nachos. Almost. Anecdote says, it's alright, been a long day. Indeed, it has indeed been a long day. House of Jen, they are making so many interesting Murs, Muse, and Merps today. Yes, they are. One of them is on my lap right now. They just jumped on, actually. If I can get a picture of it, I'll post it in the Discord. Which also reminds me, since we are now about 30 minutes in the stream here, if you are new here, hello and welcome. I'm DrTorment, a horror narrator who does the occasional gaming and, well, live reading as in this live stream. Also, I have a Discord. Feel free to join. Rose, if you are able, you can please create a invite to the Discord server on the chat. And I will thank you very much for that. You are the reason the sun comes up, and thank you for being a mod today. Rose says, the prettiest kitties are so lovely sounding. Indeed. Although the one sitting on my lap is... Oh, thank you, Raven. Thank you very much. Thank you for that. So Raven has just posted a Discord link. If you haven't joined the Asylum yet, please, by all means, come enter. We have fun. We have lots of ha-has going around. We have lots of everything going around. By all means, come by. Speaking of which, I see that Victory joined us in the Asylum. Hello, Victory. Let me give you a little wave right there and assign you the role. Now, I did understand... No, not 2 waves, Discord. Christ. Now, I did understand that you had your own YouTube channel and you'll be a content creator. So for now, I'm going to give you the Tormentor role, which is the role in the Asylum for content creators. By all means, enjoy. Let me read up on the chat again. I have Kesso. Did I read that about Kesso? I think I did. Sorry. No, sorry, Rose. Me, I'll see what I can do. I misspoke. That was for Raven. I'm so sorry, Rose. I was confused myself. Dreadful says, gonna head out for a bit, hit you up later, Doc. Alright, Dreadful, see you later. Take your time, Raven, I won't be going anywhere. Victory says, cool, I should probably work on something video-related, but my free time will remain free time for now. That's quite alright, Victory, don't you worry about it. Art requires time, after all. Now, with that said, I did find a nice little poem I'd like to start with. It's from Charles Baudelaire, which, yes, I know, it's a French name. I know, it's French. Ugh, ugh, ugh. But it's a nice little poem. It's called Un Charron, which is a carcass. I'm pretty sure I butchered that pronunciation. But I did find a translation of it, which is quite Shakespearean. And I love it. It's translated by Jack Collins Squire in his collection of poems and Baudelaire Flowers, released in 1909. Let me just put it up. And before I begin, let me just check a little out of something. Is this... Alright, I'll be right back. Just need to check one little thing here, ladies and gentlemen. Just need to do a little stretch and check, a little something. And I have returned, and I'm once again joined by my kitty cat, Eve. And with that, let us begin today's first reading, which is once again by Charles Baudelaire, named A Carrion, which is translated from French to Shakespearean English by Jack Collins Squire. Rememberest thou, my sweet, that summer's day, how in the sun outspread, at a path's bend, a filthy carcass lay upon a pebbly bed? Like a lewd woman, with its legs in the air, burnt, oozed a poisonous mass. Its gaping belly, calm and debonair, was full of noisome gas. And steadily upon this rottenness, as though to cook it brown and render nature hundredfold excess, the sun shone down. The blue sky thought the carrion marvellous, a flower most fair to see, and as we gazed it almost excuse me, and as we gazed it almost poisoned us. It stank so horribly. The flies buzzed on this putrid belly, whence black hosts of maggots came, which streamed in thick and shining rivers dense along that ragged frame. Rolling R's are not coming around that well. Bit of a dry throat. There we are, a little sip. Pulsating like a wave, spurting about bright jets, it seemed to live, as though it were by some vague wind blown out, some breath procreative. And all this life was strangely musical, like wind or bubbling spring, or corn which moves with rhythmic rise and fall in time of winnowing. The lines became indefinite and faint as a thin dream that dies, a half-forgotten scene the hand can paint only from memories. Beyond the rocks there lurked a hungry hound with melancholy eye, longing to nose the morsel he had found and gnaw it greedily. Yet thou shalt be as vile as carrion, as this infection dire, O bright star of my eyes, my nature's sun, my angel, my desire. Yes, such, O queen of the graces, shalt thou be after the last soft breath, beneath the grass and the lush greenery, a mouldering and in death. When thy sweet flesh the worms devour with kisses, tell them, O beauty mine, of rotting loves I keep the bodily blisses, an essence all divine. And there we have it, a Carrion, originally originally written down by Charles Baudelaire, as translated by Jack Collins Squire. There will be a link in the description where I found this particular version. You'll do have to make a little bit of an effort to actually search it up, as it is quite a scrolling. I think it's about the penultimate. No, third to last. All right, gotcha. It's one of the ones below. Just look at the name that I just uttered. That'll be just about it. House of Jen. So, T, anything you're working on that you can talk about after the poem? Whew. That is a good question, Jen. That is a very good question. I have something coming up, a bit of a classic and legendary creepypasta that is coming up next Saturday. What it is, I will not say. And I'm a little afraid if I give a bit of a hint, well, you'll just sleep it all away. But it's fine. It's all fine. You just have to keep an eye out, because I think I should be done by Thursday. Then it should be uploaded and scheduled in as a premiere. Either Thursday or Friday. Keep an eye out on the channel if you see that pop up. Raven is having a leftover spaghetti for dinner. Nice. Rose, one of these days I'm gonna retry doing a reading of The Bells by EAP. Oh, The Bells of Edgar Allan Poe. See, here's the thing. When I read Edgar Allan Poe, the bells seem a little... It's a bit of an anathema to me. Like, it sounds like something he would write, but it sounds too jovial? Too happy? Does that make sense? I don't know. I like it, don't get me wrong. It's not a criticism or anything like that. Like, I like The Bells as a poem, as it is, but for my tastes and for my narration, it's a little... It says bells a lot. It says bells a lot. You have no idea. I mean, yeah, sure, not at the end, but I'm also not going to spoil things. You know, maybe in the summer, somewhere, I might give that one a go. Easy. There we go. Rose says, I have it fully planned. Too much Fulu. Get. Okay. I just read that also. It's like, oh wait, what is Fulu now? Is this one of those words the youngsters use that I'm just not in touch with anymore? Like, oh, but no, you meant fully. My apologies. Oh, dang it, I forgot to put it on screen to, I forgot to put it on screen what I was actually reading. So once again, if you're new to the stream, I just read a poem by Charles Baudelaire called A Carrion, translated in Shakespearean sense. It will be in the description after the stream. Don't you worry about that. Ooh, I see that our mod for today, Raven, has asked me a question in the Q&A. What inspired your love of the horror genre? That is a very good question. Well, inspired my love, I suppose my first touch with the horror genre was by watching when I was a 7. Sometimes I quite forget what age I was back then. Let's say between 7 and 10. When I was somewhere in that age range, my first horror movie I ever saw was The Thing. And let me tell you, that's one hell of a movie to start on at age. My God, oh my God, I remember. But I wasn't really afraid. Like, yeah, there was scenes that that just still chill me to the bone. Like when the first guy transformed into the thing, tried to run all out of, right, to try to run into the snow, collapse, and you see his misformed hand, and he gives out that shriek of the damned. Oh my God, that was shrill. That was not in your face horror. Like, there was a build up and everything, and it got you. It got you good. You didn't. People weren't relying on these cheap freaking jump scares anymore back then. It's like, oh, that's still nowadays. If I watch The Thing and I see that particular scene, I basically go, oh yes, eargasm. I mean, now I just love the sound design, but back then I can remember I was a little disturbed by that sound alone. Like, oh, but that's impressive, you know, for the time period it came out in. That really, it is really impressive. That's it. Let me start up a little poll here for our next reading. And the choices are, as always, I'm gonna only give 2 choices, by the way, for now. There we go. And the poll is up in the chat, by all means. Cast your vote. What should be read next? Is it on the screen too? Should be, right? Yes, it is. Perfect. I must say, I do have a question though. Like, it doesn't affect the results of the poll, or it is not even what I want. But I am wondering, in this particular channel, I have a feeling people prefer creepypastas to Reddit. Am I wrong to observe this? Like, is there a genuine preference towards creepypasta rather than Reddit as a whole? Like, what are your guys' preferences, actually, is basically what I'm asking. Rose says, have you seen the movie Grabbers? I am familiar with it. I think I've seen it, but long time ago. Cindy says, I'm back to cause chaos and I like creepypasta. Rose says, oh, I thought creepypastas were from Reddit. I mean, not gonna lie, there was a time that I really couldn't tell the difference when I first started out in the online horror scene. Like, not when I started out with the channel, but way back when I was a wee little lad and I came across the articles of, you know, the classics, Slenderman, Jeff the Killer, blah, 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 blah. It all came from Reddit, so I thought, oh, Reddit posts. But about a few months later, I actually looked into it, and no, not Reddit posts. All right then. Nat likes both. Good. I actually also kind of like it. Here's the thing. I don't dislike or like. I don't really have a preference between the two. I'm just of the opinion, if it's a good story that I'd like to feature, it's a good story. Simple as that. Reddit has good stories. Creepypasta has good stories. But they also have the, let's say, the not so well written stories as well. But I do have to say that Reddit does suffer a little more from that. Because, and once again, I'm not saying this is exclusive to Reddit. But there are more authors there that use AI. And I can tell by now. Like, there was a time I couldn't really tell who was an actual writer and who was an AI writer. Well, writer is a bit of a big word, you know, it's not really a writer, but you know what I mean. So, yeah, I basically couldn't tell the difference back then. Now I do, and it's kind of abysmal. Like, yeah, there are also creepypastas I can tell, like, yeah, that's AI written, and that's new and all that. But with Reddit, yes, you can tell by the date, like, well, could be not. Let's see how the structure is. Let's see how many words there are. Let's see how many lines there are in between the words. Like, there are little tells you can see with AI-generated texts. And to try and to pass them off as actual stories, I find is absolutely abysmal. I've no respect for people who do that. Dreadful Raven says, I think Reddit is mostly no sleep. Well, there are also other subreddits. Back in the younger days of the channel, I did go by the subreddit of short scary stories. Basically, all of my older videos are mostly stories from over there. They are videos between the 5 to 10 minutes long-ish. I say ish because mostly they don't even reach the 10 minutes. And that's when I started to phase into longer stories. Yeah, No Sleep is definitely one of those bigger Reddit forums. But there are also other forums that I do frequent. Can't have them by name. Like, obviously there's Dark Poetry subreddit. I mean, can you blame me? Actually, let me have a look. Let me just give you an example of the few Reddit forums I do frequent once a month. It's not like I actively go on Reddit anymore. I do have my own issues with it, Raven. But let's say, not Dark Poetry, I just mentioned you. Go away. Nobody likes you. Like, a good subreddit, for example, is Imaginary Horror, I find. Imaginary Horror is one of those things. Just Not Right. Chronic Nightmares also has quite something. There's also the big one, Let's Not Meet, instead of No Sleep. That's also a repository, but I prefer stories from, say, the Library of Shadows subreddit. It is one of those stories that is often... stories. It's one of those forums that is often overlooked in this little niche, I find, at least. I haven't seen a lot of people that have been going over there, of my colleagues. There are several others, but I think I've made my point by now. There's more than just No Sleep out there, and I prefer the stories that are not a No Sleep, because No Sleep just gets kind of choked by the, well, let's be honest, sometimes crappy writing. Sometimes I'm being generous, but you get what I mean, once again. Let's see, how is the poll looking? Oh yes, that's a huge shift of creepypasta. Gotcha. Message received, chat. Let me go back to the chat here. Victory says, I do find Reddit stories very fun. I just find creepypasta slightly more interesting to discuss. Yeah, that's another thing. So Reddit stories kind of, well, no, actually kind of also depending about how it is written and all that. But I do find that creepypastas do go more into the philosophical nature, if you will. And with that, I don't really mean that they are all philosophical or something like that. No, not at all. It's more like it makes you think. And if it makes you think, I like that kind of a story. Like, it makes you think, there's not always an open end, there's not always a closed ending to it. That's fun. Whereas with Reddit, it's kind of... It may or may not be absolute. It's a bit 50-50. But with creepypasta, you do get what you would expect. Basically, a horror story that can be told around a campfire. Whereas Reddit is more... I want to say urban storytelling, if you will. Like, those are just comparisons. I'm not saying that that's the genres or something like that, but yeah, that's kind of that. Let's see, Rose says, personal opinion, AI is AI is of the devil in its current incarnation. I can agree with that, Rose. The Raven says, I find Let's Not Meet to have a strange structure to it. So I cannot agree or disagree with that, Raven, mainly because when I scroll down forums, I just look at titles, and if the title is appealing enough, I'll have a read, and if it's a good story that I find interesting, I usually contact the author if I may narrate yes or no. That's my simple process there. I don't really look at how a forum is structured, but now that you mention it, might give it a look. Might give it a look later. Also, Raven, No Sleep wouldn't accept your story. Really? Which story is that? Is it one that has been narrated before by somebody else I should listen to? And if so, if somebody did narrate your story, by all means, provide a link. We want to know what you wrote up. Cerebral, says Rose. I have no context to that, or I have forgotten about the context. My short-term memory is absolutely abysmal. Raven says, it's a Legend of Alethea. Ah, Vidiv did it. Alright, Vidiv. Good. Ah, so I'm going to assume it's a longer story? Like, how long is it, how long would you say the story is, Raven? Like, how long did the Vidiv, how long is Vidiv's video on it? I'm sorry. Cerebral instead of philosophical, yes. Creepypasta is more cerebral than in Reddit stories. Yes, Rose. Yes, they are. Thank you for that. Hello, Trooper. Hello. Welcome. I see you on one of my streams for once. How have you been, man? I've seen you on a spooky stream earlier today. She was having a murder run over at her gaming channel. Raven says it's an hour. Oh, it's an hour-long story. Interesting. Rose goes, I like $5 words. Ah, yes, the expensive vocabulary comes out today. Nat says, the troop has risen indeed. The good boy of the asylum has come at last. Victory says, I'm realizing how many horror narrators I recognize. Well, we're a close-knit bunch, what can I tell you? Let's see, 6 votes for Creepypasta, I see, and... Wait, no, that's not 6. 5 votes for Creepypasta, 1 vote for Reddit. Okay, I think it's safe to say that I should end the poll here, but I'm also looking at the time, and we have been in for an hour, which means I'm going to take a 5-minute break. I will be right back, my dear friends and patients. I will keep the poll on for any new viewers that will come. And until then, I'll see you in a little bit. Raven, you may open the bar for everyone. And I have returned from my wonderful little break. Hello, hello, and welcome back, everyone. It took a few minutes longer than I expected, but I'm back. Let's see. Oh, Victory is leaving. All right, Victory, see you next time. You have a good rest. Let me read up on the chat here. So to anyone who new that is joining in, hello and welcome. My name is DrTorment. I am a narrator of creepy stories here on YouTube and also of dark and gothic poetry. Sometimes I also indulge in games, but mostly I prefer these live streams where we just hang out, chill, and I do some live readings for you. Dance, monkey dance, if you will. And here we are. With me joining today as a mod is Dreadful Raven. Nat is going to take a nap as well. Alright, take care, Nat. See you next time. Oh hell, maybe we'll see Nat again if I'm on stream long enough. Hello, creepy clown girl. Hello, hello, welcome. How have you been? Everything alright? Oh, there's actually a conversation that I'm missing here. Rose says that she'll take the Long Island tea during the break. Indeed, Raven, that is good taste that she is having. Then Rose asked, ever been to a country dance bar where you can get pictures of them? Oh, you actually can? Rose says, growing up in Texas, it's mildly required, but if you drink more than one, you won't give a snit what's playing. Snit. Okay, that got me by surprise. All right, nice word. I'm gonna use that one from now on as well. Snit. Raven says, I was stuck in a country bar once. My boyfriend at the time got thrown out for starting a fight. Oh dear. Over 20 years now, my one and only time in a place like that. Oh, really, Raven? Like, you haven't ever thought of going out to a bar again? Or like a country... Actually, is there a difference between a country bar and an, I don't know, regular bar? Like, does the one have more cowboys in it than the other? I don't know. I don't know what the difference is. Oh. Well, it's gonna be the DrTorment quote for 2025, isn't it? What's the difference between a country bar and an ordinary bar? Does the one have more cowboys than the other? Oof. My apologies. Well, not really. Indeed, Rose. But, he is not here. Dreadful Raven. I've been to regular bars. Many since then. Well, as you should. Again, I don't... Trooper. Trooper with the answer. Purely aesthetic, he says. Really? That's the only difference? The aesthetic to it? Oh. Rose says there are pubs, regular bars, and country dance bars. Jesus Christ. Country bars only play country music, though. Oh, okay. So yeah, okay. Purely aesthetic and music. Okay, gotcha. I have to ask this, but is there a mechanical bull involved in a country bar? And don't worry, I'll get to the creepypasta reading in a moment. Don't worry. Just my genuine curiosity kicking in right now. Because I don't know anything about Americana culture. Wow. Creepy Clown Girl says, so far so good, and how about you? Well, CCG, I could have been better. Some shenanigans happening in the background, but that's not for the live stream. That is all for me. Raven says, you're really not missing much. Oh, really? Okay. Creepy Clown Girl says, I guess when you said monkey dance, monkey, the cat decided to play or get some years ago. Yeah, basically. I have 3 cats, by the way, as CCG, so probably. And with the headphones on, I can't always hear them. But yeah, basically, that's about how it goes, yeah. Oh, hello, Wicked Horizon. Welcome to the live stream. Welcome, welcome. Please take a seat. Take a vote while you're at it. Rose says, country dance bars have a large oval dance floor around the main bar in the center, so you literally dance around it. Then there are satellite bars on the outside. Also, yes to the mechanical bull. Alright, that was my main question. Ah, perfect. And Wicked says, thank you, hello, I voted in the poll. Most excellent. Most excellent. And of course, Creepypasta is still winning. Alright, well, with that I am going to end the poll. We have had 8 votes in total, and I believe only 1 vote goes to poor old Reddit. Oh, no, Reddit. Oh, let me just cry away my tears on my imaginary handkerchief. Oh, no, what the hell was that? Excuse me, I think one of the cats opened the door. Be right back. Madam! What you doing? Christ, that was scary. I'm sorry, that was a little scary. Like, I heard the door creaking in the background, basically, and whoa, who just came in my apartment? Just the cat that opened the door, of course. Yes, and you are now upset? What? It's the bathroom. You can't go into the bathroom. I don't care. No. No. Bathroom's not for you. No. It's where I shower. What, you want torment water all over you? I don't want torment water all over me. You certainly should not. Madam, no. Crazy lady. And now she's singing the song of her people, as always. Taroxa, hello, welcome, welcome. Taroxa says, say hi to Twitch. Hello, Twitch. Hello, Twitch. Hello, hello. Raven says, shenanigans. Indeed, indeed, shenanigans, indeed. Lots and lots of shenanigans with these 3. Oh, Christ. Itchy! What's your problem today? Yes. Mau. I have no idea what her problem is today. Like, I don't know. The cats are always quiet up until I need to live stream or record. And as soon as I, like, press the play button or manage broadcast button, suddenly the song of that people have to come out. Come here. You want a scratchy scratch? Come, lap. Come. There you go. You little floof. Creepy clown girl. Lol, Bubble. Bubble. I'm never I just love the name I gave her. Bubble says, yeah, Dracula and his 3 cats. Indeed, indeed. So for those who do not know, I'm also in the works of bringing the Bram Stoker novel Dracula to life. I currently have the first 2 chapters done on the channel, and I do intend to do the full thing. Don't worry about it, it'll just take time. I'm a one-man team that has to work with a lot of voice actors here. So I do apologize there. But the good news is, after next Saturday... Madam, I'm trying to explain something. After next Saturday, when the legendary and classic creepypasta is out, that is when I will also be able to focus a little more on Dracula Chapter 3 coming, which should be a doozy, particularly towards the ending, if you're not familiar. It's gonna be so much fun. Raven says, our cats are related. Possibly. Possibly. CCG, Creepy Clown Girl, says he hopes it was one of the cats anyway, lol, and he didn't need an imaginary handkerchief, he's got a cat's tail. Yes, yes I do. Ah, I see, Wicked cannot wait until chapter 3 is done. Huge fan of the first 2 chapters, Wicked was, so he told me. I'm assuming that's still the case, Wicked. I know, it seems like I'm stalling for the creepypasta read. I assure you I'm not, though. I'm really not. I just struggling to find a good creepypasta to read for today. Let me go by genres. I want to do something specific. Nothing too gory, of course, because, you know, YouTube. Can't also be too long, because, well, we keep the longer ones for narration videos, don't you know? No, that too is a little too long. Promising title, though. The Choir. Alright. This ought to work. Category of monsters, dreams, and sleep. Okie dokie. So I'm going to close the poll here. We have 10 votes in, with 90% going to Creepypasta and 10% to Reddit, which means 9 votes to Creepypasta, 1 to Reddit. Oh, 12. My god. You people are quick. I don't even watch for 2 minutes. I do not watch. Suddenly, poof, 2 more votes. Still the majority going to Creepypasta. Alright. I'm going to end it then right here and now. There you go. And we'll be reading Creepypasta today. Excellent. And after that, we'll see what will be coming next. Tarok said, just got done. Lol, wish you were live on Twitch. Would have raided you. No, there will be no raid. Are you a Viking these days, Taroxa? I have to ask. Are you gonna raid me? Oh, oh no. Creepy Clown Girl, that cat is literally arguing and talking with you. It's arguing its point. Pretty amazing. It really is. You have no idea. She's a very reactionary cat. Raven, the third parent, basically. Hello, Ash. Hello, hiya. How you doing? Hello, hello, and welcome to the live stream. Welcome. A raid means to send all my current viewers to your stream. Well, I don't talk the Twitch lingo to Roxa. I don't speak Viking. I'm sorry. I'm just gonna call you a Viking from now on. Be prepared. Also, for the people who are not in the know, Toroxa is the artist formerly known as Cryptic Tales on YouTube. Has some very good videos on real life crimes. Highly suggest you have a look over there as well. We did a few collabs as well in the past, and we are working on something in the future. Do keep an eye out, as always, in the community posts. That's a good throat cleanser, that was. Certainly wasn't any beverage of the let's say stingy nature. It was a very family friendly drink I was having right about now. Yes, very family friendly. Definitely nothing too strong. Now, where were we? Ah, right. Creepypasta. With not so spicy meatballs. Here we are. So this creepypasta is called The Alp, and let's see if there is an author attached to it. I honestly do not know if... Sometimes, here's the thing, I'm reading off of the creepypasta wiki, and sometimes the author is stated below, or sometimes they just appear in the comments without stating that they are the author at all. So it's... Give me a minute, because if that is the author, I do need to give credit. And if it's not the author, I'm gonna say author unknown. Right, I'm gonna say that it's author unknown, because I cannot give heads or tails to this. Anyway, the creepypasta is called The Alp. Let me just put that on the screen. The Alp. Creepypasta. As an Italian, I can appreciate the wording by author unknown. There we are. Come on the screen then. There you go. See, was that so hard? It surely was not. Now let's see, does it appear on the stream? On the thing? I hope so. I hope so. Yes, it does. Most excellent. Thank you, Ash. Thank you for liking the stream. Thank you very much. Hello, Tales from the Vox. Welcome. Tales from the Vox is also involved with the Dracula project I mentioned earlier. He voices Jonathan Harker for me. He was also in the previous guest stream I had. And... oh my, there's a lot of rain going outside. Which, in my opinion, was one of the best live guest streams I did have on my channel. One off. There we go. Ah, I see Bubbles has joined us as well. Hello, Bubbles. How you doing? Creepy Clown Girl says, if you need one, I have a creepypasta I wrote for a contest several years back. You're more than welcome to use it if you would like. Ah, thank you for that, CCG. Thank you. I'll definitely be in touch with that one. Rose of a stingy nature? You mean cactus juice? Yes, let's go with cactus juice, Rose. I'm drinking cactus juice. Yes. Bubbly says, that was seriously awesome, like those cats are highly intelligent. I'd say they are intelligent, but I wouldn't say they are highly intelligent. Like, you know, I live with them daily. Trust me, they are not highly intelligent. They derp around quite a lot. Raven. It'll quench you. Yes, indeed it did. CCG says, my creepypasta is called Now I Know Why the Ice Cream Machine Doesn't Work at McDonald's. You know what, CCG? I'll be in touch for that one. If it's alright with you, I'd like to make a separate video out of that. Bubbly said, possible title name, Flesh Requiem. Ooh, I like that. Nice. And Bubbly says, possible title... oh no, I just read that. Flesh Requiem. Wow, my short-term memory is playing things again. CCG says, happy belated birthday, Dr. T, as does Bubbly. Happy late birthday. Indeed. Thank you. Thank you for the birthday wishes. It's been a week, so that was on the 1st of June. But it's much appreciated anyway. Bubbly. I had to do that in that voice. Yes, Raven, you can indeed hear the rain. Like I said, it's very rainy today. It's a little stupid, but hey, it is what it is. Drinking some meat. Oh, I would love some meat. Anyways, without any further delay, let's go on with the creepypasta reading of the day. The Alp by author unknown. I gasped for air as my head recovered from being jerked out of my REM sleep. My eyes were blurred and my thinking slow. I couldn't even remember what I've just seen. Somewhere deep in my subconsciousness, it was burned, stayed just out of reach of what I could recall. I glanced at my alarm clock at my bedside, taking note of the time. 2:22 a.m. It was too early for this, I thought to myself. I shook it off and sat upright, trying to collect my thoughts and regain awareness. My head held in my palms, I chuckled without opening my mouth. It was just a dream. The darkness encasing me didn't respond. Part of me thought it would have, but the rest called me an idiot. The last bit told me to get something to eat and subsequently gave the signal to my stomach, which gurgled in anticipation. I stood up and walked to my bedroom door. The layout of the room carefully memorized so as to not break a toe on the television stand or a stray bed knob. The first few times I was here, I'd slam my foot into almost every object in the room, cursing loudly each time. Nowadays, it's almost routine to wake up and move about. The door swung open, and in its stead, I took a step forward into the beckoning dark corridor ahead. Using my hand, I felt the walls to make sure it didn't pass the stairs, and once I felt my hand dip, I took the turn. Now, usually they tell you to never go downstairs in the dark, but it was late, I was still tired, and I wasn't gonna bother burning my retinas by turning on the lights. I knew where I was going anyway. With each step I took down, a small echoing creak would sound from the panels on the foot. At the last few steps, a blue light reflected off the white carpet and ensured that I didn't trip on the last leg. This moonlight, however, didn't do much for the rest of the abyssal dark of the place. I sighed. I didn't want to turn on a light, but knew that I had to. I shielded my eyes and flicked on a lamp, flooding the living room in a dull orange glow. I made a beeline for the kitchen connected to the room. My stomach grew ever eager. God only knew why. I never kept much food around the house. The eerie still grew more present. All sounds, even the light whistle of wind blowing outside, had all but ceased. The quiet was interrupted yet again by the opening of the cabinets and my rummaging around for anything I had. I settled on a browning banana I found on the counter. Quick question, chat. What in tarnation is a browning banana? Oh, like a banana that's ripe. No, I got it now. Oh, Jesus Christ, that did not translate well in my head. All right, moving on. I always liked this time of night, where it came deathly still and nothing was around to bother you. It was just me and the emptiness of the after-dark world. The heater was usually automatically turned off by this point, so there was a calm chill all around the house, which made climbing back into bed after a midnight venture that much better. However, tonight was off. The air was a little colder, a little more bitter. The still ever more unnerving. I felt like I had someone's piercing gaze constantly on me. I only just noticed that I was gnawing on the banana peel by this point. As I left, my stomach satiated for the time being, I had noticed the basement door cracked open. When I looked in, behind the veil of dark, where two small lights beamed right at me. I laughed at first, thinking it was just a hallucination. The beam suddenly darkened, and dashed deeper into the darkness. This experience had caused my heart to skip a beat, and I sprinted to my room and hid under the covers. It took only a couple of hours, but I had finally fallen asleep, listening to the creaks and moans of the house. Someone was getting a cup of tea downstairs. It was stormy today on my morning commute to work. Every driver decided today they would act like a complete idiot and cut me off or almost cause an accident at every possible turn. Over the years, I've built up a tolerance to the half-wits on the road, but today I was feeling especially irritable. I'm not even sure why. I had my coffee, so it wasn't withdrawal. I just felt angry. I wanted to swerve into a fool 100 times. I had to beg myself not to half the time. Oh, sorry, intonation. I had to beg myself not to half the time. Maybe I need to change my sleep schedule. The drive was long and it irritated me, but I had to make it to work. It was the usual desk job. I'd sit around for a good amount of hours, typing away and doing financial stats and stuff like that. But since the job had a lot of slow moments, I was typically bored and either talked to my co-worker Kyle or played a pirated copy of Doom on my machine. A man of style, I see. Good, good. Today, I had opted for the former. Dude, your eyes are really red and dark today. You feeling okay? He started as I walked into my office and hung my jacket up. Yeah, just guess I didn't sleep too well. I didn't mention last night. Figured he'd assume I just sleepwalked or dreamt badly. Want a nap? I can take over your shift for a few if you promise not to be asleep all day. I considered it heavily, but in the end I just sat at my desk and muttered a half-hearted, nah. He shook his head and chuckled, going back to his own work. Something seemed off, though. His voice trembled on certain vowels, and his eyes seemed dead. His personality was like a block of wood. Suddenly, a bout of narcolepsy had seemed to hit me full force, and my face slammed into the keyboard. Kyle had called my name just before I slipped out of consciousness. However, it was not in panic. It was trying to soothe me. I woke up in my bed with a start, not quite past stage 2 of my circadian rhythm yet. I had to look at that word a little bit. I checked the clock, which read 2:22 a.m. All four corners of the room were pitch black, just like the night before. The door was closed and locked like I had left it when I came in. At least, I think I did. I pulled the covers back over my head and tried to fall back asleep. My stomach pleaded to be fed, but I didn't budge. I fought through the pangs until the clock finally changed to 2:23 a.m. As the clock changed, so did the air in the house. It got more tense, and the sudden drop in temperature was accompanied by a dull knock on the far end of my room. I remained under my covers. I started to shiver. Insomnia was a hell of an affliction. I felt that I had gone days without sleep, but I know I went to bed every night. I know I woke up every morning and took a shower and left for work. But nowadays, dreams and reality seem to meld together, especially tonight. The knocking got louder until it slid to the floor, and was followed by loud footsteps making their way to my door. A loud bang like someone had punched the door as hard as they could, rang through my empty room and shook me up. And yes, that was a little bit deliberate. What shook me up worse was when tiny claws started to scratch at the wood and gradually grew louder and deeper in a way. This went on all night, not letting me get even the smallest taste of sleep. Today was the worst sleepless day. Hallucinations seemed to get worse, going from an ant on the wall to full-sized shadow people walking around my own home, in my bathroom outside the shower curtain, and in the back of my car on my drive to work. It followed me around all throughout the day, through 6 hours of spreadsheet making, 2 hours of break time, the entire day ceaselessly. It hounded me the entire time, never breaking eye contact, that is, if it had eyes. I sincerely hoped it wasn't dangerous. I sat in the living room, watching TV, as the weather outside worsened instantaneously. Brother, I can actually understand this. The weather outside here is also getting a lot worse. For some reason. Further on. And thunder clapped. No thunder yet, but I'm giving it a good hour before that happens. Next to me sat my shadow, tapping its foot on the floor. Something inside me was telling me this wasn't a hallucination, but I couldn't do anything about it. I'd rather let it stay than anger it by trying to get rid of it. It looked over to me, showing beady yellow eyes glowing from underneath a shadowy cloud that it called its face. We locked eyes for a brief moment, and a sudden shockwave of sheer panic overcame me, forcing me to scream and run for my room. It seemed confused, as I was, but calmly gave chase. It grabbed me by my collar as I ran up the stairs and threw me down then. I sprained my shoulder and it burned horribly, but I didn't want to let the shadow do worse to me. I ran into the nearest door, the basement, and locked it behind me. I ran into the dimly lit cavern below. I ran to a slatted wardrobe? I think this means slated. I could be wrong though. Chat, is slatted with 2 T's a word? Please educate me. I ran to a slatted wardrobe I kept in the basement and hid inside of it, trying to escape the shadow before it got more aggressive. I couldn't see how, but it got through the locked door and stomped down the stairs searching for me. A low growl emanated from deep within its core. It passed underneath the ceiling light, and I was able to see part of it gaining form. Its face was almost human, but its jaw distended to make room for the hundreds of rows of needle-like teeth. Its hands were no longer formless blobs, but were talons attached to a humanoid palm. It looked starved, to the point where internal organs were non-existent and its ribs were sucked in. Its yellow eyes grew brighter, shining brilliantly as it would turn its head to my direction, and then dim as it looked away. It knew I was here, but it didn't know where. I held my mouth to keep quiet. My breathing was growing more and more rapid. The monster slammed its fist onto a table and screeched. Its screech was ear-splitting and made me dizzy, and sounded like a mix between a banshee and a dying woman. Was it trying to weed me out? The beast groaned, turned its head towards me again, this time, however, made eye contact. It stomped a foot closer to me, cocking its head to the side, opening its jaw slightly, seemingly raring to attack. The inner panic within was telling me to run, but I couldn't look away from it, or its eyes, which grew more piercing and evil the longer I gazed. Its talons grazed the slats in the closet I resided in, readying to rip the doors from their hinges, but a noise from upstairs attracted the beast. The door. Someone knocked at the door. I burst from the closet, sprinting past the distracted monster and up the stairs to the front door. I swung it open, seeing Kyle standing on the other side. He looked worried, even more so when he saw the fear in my eyes and the sweat dripping from my forehead. He went inside, not saying a word to me, and saw the door ripped off its hinges. Scratches and blood were covering the wood body. "Kyle, please help me. There's something in here with me." "Calm down. Where was it?" he said as he tried to steady his own breath. "There, down in the basement last I checked, but don't go in there. Just help me get the authorities off frickin' animal control." Kyle looked more and more worried, so went to the basement alone. Not within 5 minutes of going down there were his screams of terror and pain heard above, and the monster's roaring began anew, more enraged and hungry than before. I was frozen. The monster drew nearer to me, coming up the stairs. I saw it in full detail. Its dried skin, blood dripping from its mouth onto the rest of its body, guts remaining on its talons. The only difference was that this time, its face was Kyle's, and it spoke to me, with a voice somewhat similar to his, but very wrong. "Wake up!" That was all it said before its claws pierced into my eyes and through my brain. I woke up gasping for air, holding my heart tightly, tears streaming down my cold face. I was in a cold sweat, taken fever. I looked at the clock. It read 2:22 a.m. The darkness around me was claustrophobic, so dark it was nearly tangible, and concealed my hands even though they were right in front of my face. It smelled like iron in my room. The dream, or what I hoped was a dream, had ceased, but my instinct still told me to look around my house to make sure. I ran through my doorway and downstairs. Something wasn't right. My stairs were made of wood. These had a metallic clang when I strode on them, however. The whole house smelled like iron and rust. The windows bore no light, and my eyes refused to adjust to the abyss that surrounded me. I went to my basement door and felt around. It was still there, but it was colder, harder. It still had the grooves of claws and teeth inset. "Oh shit," I whimpered, before a loud shriek sounded from below. And that was the end of The Alp, a creepypasta by thus far author unknown. Let me see. Oh, don't worry, Bubbles. I know what meat is. I do have meat as well. I prefer apple meat. If you ever had it, so delicious. Wicked Horizon says, "I have to go, Dr. T. I hope you have a great stream." Yes, I do hope so as well. CCG says, "Awesome, and yes, that would be fine, and you'll be the first narrator to narrate it." Oh, really? That's an honor if I get to be the first narrator for your story, CCG. Thank you. Then CCG follows with, "Next Wednesday, June the 11th, is my birthday, and I will be having a birthday VC in my server. However, whoever would like to join, you're more than welcome, and Geminis." Oh, that's nice, CCG, thank you. Also, a happy early birthday. Rose. Mead. Yes, mead. I actually want mead now. No, I do not, YouTube. No, I don't want mead. That's not a family-friendly drink. Mead? Me? No, not at all. I'll stick to my non-alcoholic lemon water. Whoop, I need another sip to get that out. It certainly isn't limoncello or something like that. Certainly not. No, I wouldn't dare. Drink on stream, please. We're adults. I'm a professional. CCG, wow, I'm really impressed. Your live narration is just as good. Awesome job. Thank you, Creepy Clown Girl. Thank you very much. Raven, yes, it's a word. I'm going to say that's about slatted. Ah, there's Rose with... Yeah, slats are used in Venetian blinds. Are they? Well, Christ, that's Italy. That's part of my culture. I should have known this. I'll definitely have to... Yeah, I'll definitely have a look. I think I just don't know the translation of it for myself. In Dutch, Rose Siren Song says, slatted wood is small pieces of wood that are stacked vertically along a wall to create a flat surface to apply plaster to... Oh! Now, I know what that is. Thank you for the clarification and the description there, Rose. Thank you very much. Creepy Clown Girl, if that creature is a version of your cat, then you wouldn't you wouldn't let it in the bathroom. I'd reconsider real quick. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Raven says, Rose, you mean like luff? Or luff? Laffey? Christ, my pronunciations are all over the place. Oof. Ah. Rose with more elaborations. Marvelous. Looking it up, slats are small pieces of wood that are used on multiple different applications. They are normally something around 1 centimeters times 3 centimeters times whatever length. Wow. I'm sorry, Rose, you're using centimeters and not freedom units? Wow. Color me impressed. Thin but moderately wide. Laths are machines that spin wood at a high RPM for items that are circular or cylindrical. And then comes the confetti with wonderfully done! Thank you, Rose. Thank you for that. Raven. Oh, Raven with more elaboration. Oh, Christ, what have I started in the chat? Oh, Christ. No, lath like what is put on the walls, also slats, usually covered in chicken wire, as well as to keep the plaster on the wall. That I also know that is a thing. I didn't know they were separate things, though, or the same. Probably the same. Ash says, amazing narrating / voice acting. I absolutely love it. Thank you, Ash. I'm glad you enjoyed. Raven, it's awful and what our house is made of. Oh, no. Have you tried playing cards? I heard they're more sturdier than that. Creepy Clown Girl, what an honor to be a Gemini twin with you. Oh, like that. I misread that. I misread that previous comment, and I'm sorry. I thought you meant Gemini, as in Gemini reads the other narrator. I had a collaboration with him on the latest story video I have, not poetic video. So that would be The Endless Road, which is a collaboration between me and Gemini Reads. And the latest video is a poetic video that is called The Curse of Queen Euphonius. Yes, that's the one. That's the one that came after The Endless Road with Gemini Reads. Rose says, same with mine. Plaster is the worst. Dreadful. A Raven? I thought you meant that too. Okay. Okay, I'm not the only one that thought Gemini Reads was mentioned. Nice. Nice. Let's see. Well, since Reddit did have the least votes, I feel like I should do a Reddit story as well, but obviously one that I already have the permission for, so it's most likely going to be a story that I've already read on the channel. It's just going to be, well, the live version of it. I'm just going to assume nobody really minds that. I'm going to hope. That's a better word, yes. I'm gonna hope that nobody really minds that. No, it should be fine. Should be fine. Oh, here's one. The Wendigo's Call, which is a bit of a favorite of mine, not gonna lie. That said, thanks to YouTube's policy, I also no longer have the link on my video. So here's the thing. YouTube doesn't really like it when you post Reddit links in your videos. They will actively not really put your content forward if you do, because to them, Reddit is linked to not safe for work stuff and yada yada, which I find is complete and utter balderdash, considering what can sometimes be on creepypasta as well in terms of content. But hey, who am I? Who am I to notice that thing? Now I do know on which subreddit it was, and I do have the name of the author right here. So let me just have a little looky-loo how good old how good old Page Turner 627 is doing. Sad to say, they haven't really posted a lot of things. Now, this is a story that I did about, I believe, about 10 months ago. Yes. Right, so I found a story on, what's it called? The subreddit Short Scary Stories. I mentioned that one before. Is this the same one? Same writer? Yes, it is. It was also one of the stories on the channel. I first experimented with more immersive storytelling in terms of sound design and everything. So if you haven't had a watch, let me just go ahead and give you a link myself. Like normally I would ask Raven, but this is one I'm already on the studio. It's fine. I'll do this one. It's only fair. Like share the load. Here you go. I just posted the video link for The Wendigo's Call. A short story. It's a shorter story, but like I said, it's one of those videos I first really started experimenting with sound design and immersion. If you haven't had a watch on that one yet, do consider giving it a watch, and then the Wendigo story that comes after that one, which is about 45 minutes long and an absolute masterpiece of sound design, if I do say so myself. Yes, I am tooting my own horn on this one. Sue me on my own channel, why don't you? Ha ha ha. Another reading, Raven says? Of course not. Oh. Rose says, that's bull honky. Making it a tiny URL. No, Rose, so here's, if the link goes to the website, YouTube just doesn't really put you forward because of it. It's, I know, it's all bull honky, if you will, but welcome to YouTube. If you want to be a creator these days, it's not as fun nowadays as it was back in the day. Oh, let me just change the text on the screen there. Reading The Wendigo's Call, Reddit. And then after this reading, we'll be taking another little break. Bye. Page Turners. I just set the name, didn't I? And still I forgot. Page Turners 627. There we are. 627. Oh, they haven't really posted stories anymore. That's sad to see, though. Oh, that is taking a lot of space. There we are, much better. Okie dokie. Like I said, there's a full video on this story on the channel. If you haven't had it to watch, please visit the link I posted in the chat. Keep it to watch after the stream, who knows. But until then, I'll give you this live reading instead. Mind you that none of the sound effects will be present. Of course not. But without further ado, The Wendigo's Call by Page Turner 627 from the Short Scary Stories subreddit. We thought a camping trip in northern Ontario's wilderness would be fun. The six of us, Tom, Liz, Sarah, Mike, Danny, and I, had been friends since high school. On the first night, we gathered around the campfire, sharing ghost stories. Tom, ever the prankster, told us about the Wendigo, a malevolent spirit from Algonquin legend that turns humans into insatiable cannibals. We laughed it off, but the dense forest around us seemed to whisper warnings. The second night, strange calls began. They were distant at first, echoing through the trees, long, mournful howls that sent chills down my spine. Probably wolves, Mike said, but he sounded uneasy. He huddled closer to the fire, the shadows dancing menacingly on the trees. By the third night, the howls were closer. Tom and Danny decided to investigate despite our protests. They grabbed flashlights and headed into the darkness, leaving us by the fire. Hours passed. We called out for them, but the forest swallowed our voices. When they finally returned, something was off. Their eyes were wild, their clothes torn. "He didn't see anything," Tom said shakily. Danny just nodded, staring into the fire as if he could see something we couldn't. We exchanged worried glances, but said nothing. The fourth night, Liz went missing. She'd gone to collect firewood and never came back. Panic set in. We searched the forest, calling her name until our voices were hoarse. There was no trace of her. Tom and Danny grew more erratic. They whispered to each other in hushed tones, casting paranoid glances our way. It felt like they were hiding something, but fear kept us silent. On the fifth night, the howls turned to screams, agonizing human screams that echoed in our ears long after they faded. We were terrified, huddled together in the tent, clutching each other. I couldn't shake the feeling that we were being watched. The next morning, Mike was gone. His sleeping bag lay empty, the zipper torn open as if he had been dragged out. Tom and Danny insisted we move camp, but their eyes gleamed with something sinister. I realized then, too late, that they were no longer my friends. They were something else, something hungry. That night, Sarah and I stayed awake, listening to the howls. We planned to leave at first night, but they attacked before dawn. Tom and Danny, or whatever they'd become, came for us with an insatiable hunger in their eyes. We fought, but it was no use. I managed to escape, running blindly through the forest, the screams of my friends echoing behind me. I stumbled upon a ranger's cabin at dawn, exhausted and delirious. The rangers found me raving about the Wendigo. They never found my friends. Sometimes, late at night, I hear those mournful calls, and I know they're still out there, hunting. And I know one day they'll come for me too. And there we have it, the Wendigo's Call by Page Turner 627 from the Short Scary Stories subreddit. I hope you enjoyed that short little reading. It's short, but I like how short, intense, and nice it was. I actually like it a lot for a Wendigo story. Nice, short, simple. It doesn't really have to be anything complicated. Now, the reason I particularly like this story is that the Wendigo isn't ever fully seen, right? There's not a set shape to it, which is how I prefer it. It's basically how the legend goes. Like, canonically, the Wendigo is basically an emancipated corpse with a hunger for living human flesh, which is one of the reasons I'm not really a fan of the modern depiction of it being basically a lurch with an elk's head on top of it. It's like, no, I've known creatures in other parts of mythology where that is more fitting, but it's not for a Wendigo, in my opinion. Like, sure, keep the antlers if you want to do something creepy with a humanoid shape, but add a mud monster covered in roots with a deer skull. It never really got it. I never really got it. It wasn't there for me. I prefer the original depictions, which is creepy enough. Thank you. Raven, especially considering some of the stuff that's been posted on UIT. Yes, this is still pertaining to that Reddit rant I made before. Yes, my god, I've seen what's going on YouTube in terms of what they post, but oh my god, no, I do not agree with what YouTube allows on their website sometimes. Like, that's just straight up adult content, if you will, that is aimed for kids. Abysmal. It's disgusting. Rose said, good thing I don't want to be a creator. I did toy with the idea of doing a series of me learning to do things and usually failing, especially called I Flail at Life. I'm sorry, I just have that image of you in my head now, Rose. I'm sorry. Caught me off guard. How dare you catch me off guard like this on my own stream, Rose? Christ. No, don't do that. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Rose, maybe it wears an elk skull. Well, still I don't like the idea. Like, it's more of a Celtic monstrosity than it is a Native American one, if you ask me. As soon as you describe a Wendigo to me as it is, like, it doesn't... Here's the thing, I like to read mythology, so I'm not gonna say that I know better than, say, anyone that is actually from that culture that would know about this. You know, I'm not gonna say that I'm an expert. But from what I've read, compared to what I know about Celtic mythologies, the elk head or deer head, whatever, it's more in line with Celtic mythology than it is with Native American one. That's from what I've read. Again, correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not an expert. I do not live across the pond, by all means. There's always time to educate one in these matters, I suppose. For now, that can go away. the little reading text, and now I will take a 5-minute break. I will be right back, ladies and gentlemen. Raven, you are in charge. If anyone misbehaves, feel free to impale them. I have some sticks somewhere lying around. Should be somewhere in the corner. Until then, the bar is open, and I'll be back shortly. And I'm back, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for waiting. And apologies that I took a few minutes longer. This is purely and only because of the extreme heavy rain that fell, but it has just now, as I went out of the break, died down a little, which is glorious. Glorious victory is to be had today. Once again, apologies for the wait, but I am back again. Welcome if you're... Thank you if you're still here, and if you're new, welcome to the stream. My name is DrTorment. I am a horror narrator as well as a poetry reader, with every now and again a gaming event happening. Right now we're doing a little hangout, nothing too complex, nice and chill. And of course, I also have a Discord. Raven, if you can, please do share once again the invite link for any newcomers that might come by. I thank you very much. And well, with that all said, one important thing for anyone that's new to the stream and to the channel is when I do these live streams, I'm basically winging it as I go along. Like, I do not really have a set schedule what I will do in a stream. I just have like a basic idea of what I'll do. So I will be hanging out, interact with you guys, do some live readings, rinse and repeat. Have some fun, basically. Hang out with your quote-unquote favorite creator. Well, at least one of your favorite creators, I hope I'd be. Also, once again, thank you, Raven, for posting the invite link. So Raven just posted a invitation link to my Discord. If you aren't a member yet, by all means, swing by. We have fun over there. We have some laughs. We have the occasional movie night as well. Keep an eye out for the post. As well as, I think tomorrow I will be showcasing Season 2 of Vicious, which is a British show that is absolutely pretty hilarious. Be there if you haven't. I will create the event on Discord after the live stream, though. Well, with that said, let us continue. What have I missed in the chat? What's all been said? Well, I think I did read up a little bit, but let's go outside. Where was the break time? There it is. I see that Rose is having an hibiscus margarita this time. Well, all right then. CCG. But I have seen over my life was probably not meant for humans to see, but I think it was to ever see an actual Wendigo. He would just be one of those. Oh, I shouldn't have seen that. He's a vampire and calls his steak stick. What? Steak sticks. Anybody else see what's on about that statement? Kind of getting what you're getting at there, CCG. Kind of getting there, yeah. Indeed, Raven. Woohoo! Vicious! I personally can't wait to get back into that. Like, it's one of my favorite shows. It's basically one of those shows that practically raised me when I was still in uni. I did get introduced to the show, though I had no idea what this show was or what it was about. But a friend that I made a friend that I've had since kindergarten or so, stumbled on that show, introduced it to me, and since then it's one of those shows I just have to see every couple of months. It's a tradition in my house, you see. For anyone that is uninitiated to the show Vicious, basically, how to explain it? Two elderly gay men that live together and are being absolutely vicious to each other while also having their wholesome moments. They're played by renowned actors Ian McKellen and Derek Jacobi. And for those who are not familiar with the names, so Ian McKellen is Gandalf, for those who are not aware. And for those who are a fan of the Underworld series, that is the Vampires vs. Werewolves film franchise from Britain, Derek Jacobi plays Corvinus in, I believe, the second movie. He has this quality to him. So he has this very soft voice, but he can give up a menacing glare every once. So, like, if he's upset with you, you'll know he's upset with you. It's kind of creepy, but in a good way. Yes, Raven. Derek Jacobi from Doctor Who. He played Professor Yana, which was an abbreviation for "You Are Not Alone," as told by the head of Bo, and apparently was the master with memory loss. I do remember that episode. That was fantastic. It was a fantastic bloody episode, that was. Oh, yes. Oh, my inner Doctor Who fan is coming out. My god, what am I not a fan of? Lord of the Rings, Star Wars, Doctor Who, Christ. Let's have a look-see. CCG says, when I was 17, I literally watched a ghost... don't think I can say that out loud. Watched a ghost neck itself. I ain't joking. You what? Come again? I mean, it might be one of those ghosts that have this thing going on where they're in a perpetual state of unaliving themselves because of a certain act they did in life. That might be. CCG says, I don't know if I'm having a CRS moment or a clown moment, but I can't seem to find your email address. Well, if you look at the description of the channel, it should be there below. Otherwise, there is a link tree in my description, which should have the icon of a letter, which is basically the email. Have a look over there and let me know if you find it. If not, I'll DM you personally after the stream. CCG, is it a film similar to Brokeback Mountain? Film? Oh, you mean Vicious? No, Vicious is a show. It has 2 seasons of 6 episodes each, about 20 minutes long, and it has 2 specials, each 45 minutes long. It's definitely nothing like Brokeback Mountain, let me tell you. Definitely not. It's more catered to insult humor, I believe it's called. It's more catered towards that, but again, they do have their little wholesome moments that I wouldn't say is making me pink a tear away or something like that, but it does make me go, "Aw." A residual haunting. Thank you, Rose, for clarifying that one. CCG, yeah, here he lives what he did over and over, but he sure as hell wasn't transparent, not from what I heard. that must be oof. Wow, struggling to find words. English hard. I do this on a daily basis, and still I get flabbergasted like this. Like, yeah, if I think of a ghost, I think of at least something transparent, right? Like the concept of solid ghosts. Now that just seems beyond horrific to me. Like, yeah, you just had an interaction with a human. But then it turns out it's not a freaking human. It's, CCG. Okay, perfect. Sorry, I'm having a bad eye day. When's your next movie day? Oh, that would be tomorrow, actually. Not around this time. Let's say about 2 hours before, which would be... Let's have a look. 10 p.m. CET. So around half an hour before this stream started is when I'll be doing the movie night tomorrow. Keep that in mind if you want to join in. Like I said, I will make an event in the Discord server as soon... A little sip. I will make an event in the Discord server as soon as this stream is also over. Ash says she's loving the stream. Well, you're welcome, Ash. I'm loving the stream myself as well. Having some fun people around today. Creepy Clown Girl. It sounds like a film I would enjoy because I'm pretty quick-witted and come up with some pretty good comics. Trust me, the things that Ian McKellen says in this show. Things to live by. I'm actually quite surprised that nobody has made memes of it yet. Like, it's so memeable. If that's not a word, I'm coining it right now. TM, DrTorment. Oh, there is actually something in the Q&A. Hold on. Rose asked another question. So by all means, I do have a Q&A running. If you have a question for me or want to know anything about anything, just ask me a question. Shoot me anything. Within reason, of course. Or you can just ask a question in the chat, but I have the Q&A up so it's a little more orderly so I know what screen to look at. Rose, it's a word. Well, thank you for ruining the fun, Rose. Thank you for that. But I guess as the memefer of the Discord, you would of course know that that is a word. Memeable. Raven says, I don't remember how I came across fishes. Well, try to remember and get back to me. I actually want to know. House of Jen. Yes, just in time for the vicious talk. Oh my god, what have I introduced people to? I'm making a new batch of vicious fans every 3 months from now on. Rose, it's been hard to find memes for it because just using vicious gets me so much random stuff. Correct. The thing that I do, Rose, is, well, this is just me. I just play the show and I make screenshots. I've read a couple of them. Remind me to share them with you afterwards, so you have something to send. Ah, sorry, Rose, you also asked me a question in the Q&A. Hold on, let me have a look. What is your level of belief in the paranormal? Good question. Here's the thing. The paranormal, I always find a fascinating subject to read about and to discuss at all times. Like, I'm fascinated what can come out of it. That said, am I a staunch believer myself? Not necessarily. But, also that said, I'm not one of those people that is a disbeliever and goes about and ruin other people's beliefs or fun, if you will. Like, that's just undignified, if you ask me, if you start doing that. The same can be said about, say, spirituality, you know, theology. Like, if it's something that you adhere to or you're happy to do, you're not really bothering anyone with it, you're just living your own life with it, by all means, do it, man. I have no right to tell you what to do, and vice versa. Simple. As in my personal level of belief, like I said, am I a staunch believer? Not particularly, but I also, let's say I'm in a graveyard, right? And there is a specific sign that says, do not enter here, haunted tomb. I'm not going to enter that tomb to find out if it's actually haunted. I'll leave it the hell alone. Thank you very much. Like, I don't need to F about and find out. That's... I'm one of those disbelievers. Like, am I a staunch believer? Not really. Am I going to test it out? Absolutely not. Who knows? I might be wrong. And I don't want to be wrong in this aspect. I don't want to be haunted by an angry ghost or demon. That's basically like, really, buddy, this was how you wanted to spend your Saturday so I could eternally haunt you? I mean, yeah, that's what the internet told me, man. No, not gonna do this. Not gonna do that, thank you very much. Or like, spend the night at a haunted house. Like, yeah, sure, there's been like demon sacrifices and all that. And it's like, yeah, that's fun for you. I'm not gonna stay there. That's just a no-no. No, thank you. You can do that, but I stay here in my own home with the 3 cats, which are the guardians of the underworld, that will make sure that nothing is going to come in here and haunt me. So I believe, Rose, if I can finally give an answer to your question after this little side rant, I am agnostic when it comes to the paranormal. Let's keep it at that. Oh, agnostic paranormal. Yeah. Rose, you wouldn't join me if I had a sleepover at a haunted house? Lady, I'd pay you to stay at the haunted house just so you'd leave me alone. No, I'm not gonna sleep in a haunted house. Like I said, I'm pretty agnostic. There you go. Ash joined the Discord? Really? So you did, Ash. So you did. Let me just go ahead and assign you the role. Here you go. A new patient has entered the asylum. Welcome indeed. Let me just give you a little wave there as well. And welcome. Welcome to the Discord. Rose, agnostic about the paranormal is a brilliant way to put it. Well, thank you. I am pretty brilliant. Thank you for that. I knew this, of course, about myself. I didn't need anyone telling me this, but thank you still. Oh, God. Oh, good Lord, oh, Lordy Lord. The European narcissism is really coming out today. Oh, I'm sorry. I've missed a bunch of messages here. Also, yes, Raven, BritBox. That I think you can find Vicious on there as well. Ash. So, not a movie, but it's a show that we, some in the server have grown to love thanks to my introduction of it to the server. The show is called Vicious. It's about two gay men that are very vicious to each other. It's basically insult humor, but in a smart and humorous way. They do have some wholesome moments together, which does make you go, "Oh, that's cute." And they also have they really have a stellar casting in the show. It's amazing. It's funny. It's great. It's a great show. Unfortunately, only has 2 seasons of 6 episodes, with all of them on a runtime of 20 minutes each. That was all in one breath. I should take another sip of my very family-friendly drink. Yes. Brilliant. CCG. One thing that my younger brother learned a long time ago is when you're visiting an old dilapidated graveyard at night and you find an old doll almost 3/4 buried in the dirt, don't dig it out. I mean, again, CCG, if I see a creepy doll buried that deep into the ground, you actually think I'm gonna stay near the thing? I'd not touch that with a 10-foot pole, thank you very much. Just in case. Call me a coward, but you know, cowards live longer. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell any of you, but cowards just live longer sometimes, man. Creepy Clown Girl, I'm more worried about who or what is alive than what floating or haunting someplace. But then again, that's kind of easy too. Right. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. That's... Now you make me think about all the cryptids that might be skittering around, hunting us. Thank you for that. CCG, I didn't need a fresh dose of paranoia before bedtime today. Not at all, not at all. Rose, never take anything from a graveyard unless it's literal trash, like wrappers and cups. But dispose of it in the graveyard, not at your home. Solid advice. I'd still not touch that. That's mainly because it's trash, and I'm not the janitor in that place. Like, we do have graveyard keepers for a reason. Creepy Clown Girl. Dr. T, being that you're the undeadish, how would that work with a ghost haunting you? Good question. The answer to... Rose was distracting me with the answers there. Sorry for that. The answer to that is very simple. I may be undeadish, but they are deadish. So I don't need that around me. I'm pretty happy with my undead state, thank you very much, while also drinking some void ambrosia to keep in touch with the eldritch powers that be. That said, ghosts are dead. They can stay clear for me. I don't need a reminder of mortality around me. Thank you very much. Raven, but I want to take the ghost with me. Well, take the ghost with you by all means. I'm not stopping you to do what you want. Just don't leave the ghost with me. Rose, we have some century-plus century-old graveyards here, but that don't have trash receptacles or groundkeepers. I mean, yeah, if they're that old, I can kind of get it, because they're... I'm going to assume those graveyards are no longer used, right? Like, people are not actively burying the deceased there anymore. That's what I'm assuming here. So that is basically left to dilapidate. That is unfortunate, actually, but sad but true. Sad but true. Rose, dreadful... Oh, Rose to dreadful Raven. Ask politely and be specific about your intentions of what they can and cannot do. Sometimes they are. It depends on the family that owns it. Rose, I know we haven't really talked about the subject in our own free time, but I need to ask, are you a necromancer? If so, are you for hire? I'd love to know. It's for science. And some people I want to really scare the bejesus out of. I'm not having revenge fantasies. You're having revenge fantasies. Rose, that stays on the down low. Oh, I'm sorry, Rose. It's just that you started with the subject. I'm just expanding on it. Raven says, always polite to ghosts. Yes, preferably. Especially if those ghosts turn out to be more. Ash says, I'm heading over to As the Raven Dreams live. I love you all. Well, Ash, it's been lovely having you around. Do give Raven my best, and hope you have a good time. Rose, I'm just knowledgeable. Rose, you have any idea what kind of vibes that give? It's the same thing when I do Tyrion's quote about, I drink, it's what I do. I drink and I know things. It's basically that kind of vibe. House of Jen. I mean, if one thinks about it, the entire planet is one big graveyard. Jen, we don't need the existential grave fears right now, okay? See the pun I did there? Please tell me you saw the pun I did there. Whew. Oh, I'm sorry. It's just about 1 a.m. here. I'm just looking at how long the stream's been going. No, not too bad. 2 hours and 40 minutes so far. Okie dokie. CCG. My brother and I years ago saw that we can only now describe as a hellhound. Then years ago I saw what I could only describe as a... As a what? Oh, there you go. as I was reaching the end, there is the answer. Continuation of what CCG was saying. As either a Ken Walker or Wendigo and summer camp when I was young, and I saw what I guess some would call a Bigfoot, only a younger one. CCG, you have a lot of experience with the supernatural, I feel. Rose. Actually, I live directly next to the... I'm not even gonna butcher that pronunciation. Next to a Native American settlement and burial ground mounds. You know what, Rose? This explains quite a lot. It explains so much. If I do say so myself. Alrighty. CCG, damn, that kind of about the comment about what Jen says, I think, if the entire planet is one graveyard. CCG says, damn, that kind of sucks, cause what if you're the last vampire on Earth and the rest were ghosts? Boy, you'd get hungry real quick. I mean, that would not be my only worry as a vampire, but yeah, it's that actually, no, wait, come think of it, that actually would be the only worry as a vampire. Huh. I mean, there's no one to hide for. You basically have all the shade you want with all the empty buildings and such. Huh. Somebody. Call Hollywood. We have an original idea for them to make a movie out of. Somebody. Do it. They need some original input these days. Rose, at that point I just walk into the sun. No fun without anyone to terrorize. Well, you see, this is why I have my asylum. It's basically its own little pocket dimension of which I'm its god and master. I mean its warden and custodian. Yes. It's pretty safe from all this sun rubbish if you're a vampire, and plenty of food to spare. Which, by the way, we have a Discord for. Hint, hint. House of Jen, why do I get the feeling T has been saying a lot to stream? I mean, Jen, that's basically one of my go-to things to say. Thank you very much, Raven, for posting the link. For those of you lovely walkers of the night who wants to hide from the sun and wants to have all the blood in abundance, by all means, hit up on Discord by the link provided by Dreadful Raven in the chat. But that's the thing, Rose. You say, but if you're the last living thing on Earth, nothing to eat. First off, you're a vampire. You're not living to begin with. Second, this is why I invite vampires over to my neck of the woods. It's so much fun. We're gonna have fun. Come on over, vampires. I'm definitely not going to experiment on you or something like that. I don't want to know how undeath ticks or something like that. Ridiculous. Come by. Come by. Come by. There's always room on the slab. CCG. Years ago, my daughter, niece and I went hiking in a local park. And well, let's just say my daughter's eyes weren't hers and somebody asked me, are you sure you came back with the right daughter? Oh. Well, quite honestly, I don't know how to respond to that. Not gonna lie. Huh. So, Bubbly, could you please not turn into something unnatural? Thank you very much. That would be very nice. Thank you. Thank you. House of Jen. There's always animals, I suppose. Yes, but why have animals, Jen, to feast on as a vampire when you can have all the patience you want in the asylum? Non-animals. Like, it's like choosing white wine over red wine if you're a red wine lover. That's just not a thing, Jen. Let the vampires be, let them come over. Do not spoil this for me. By all means, vampires, it's safe, it's fine. You don't need to feed on animals, not where I'm at. But neck of the woods, yes, fine. Rose got it. Nice. That said, I've been talking quite a bit. Let me just find something else to read for you guys. Should I make another poll? Raven, what do you think? Should I make another poll? Raven says yes, and when Raven says yes, we're going to make another poll, it seems. All right, then. What should Dr. Torment read? I am once again in a bit of a poetic mood. So one of the options is 2 poems, which is 1 Gothic one and 1 self. Now, what do I mean with the 1 self one? Basically a poem that I've written myself, like one of my poems. Or option 2. 2 poems, both self. Which basically means 2 poems that I've myself written down. Or option 3, once again, 2 poems. But I'm gonna make it extra spicy. Which is not one of my written poems. No, sir. Poe and Lovecraft. By all means, yes, we're going into poetic readings now because we are nearing the end of the stream, and at the end of the stream I do like to get a little poetic. So by all means, here are your here is the, oh wait, I forgot the question marks. Go ahead and forget the question marks now. There we go. Oh, almost. There we go. No. Keyboard, please. There you go. My keyboard is haunted. That worked fine. All right then. Now, here are your choices. By all means, cast your votes. Kinda excited to what this'll be. Oh my god, not again. I swear, you people, why is it a tie between 3 votes? Why? 3 choices and still it's all tied. Oh, I'm getting flashbacks from the vote, from the community post vote. Oh, immediately, 1-1-1. Oh. I'll give it some more time for other people to vote in as well. So if you haven't voted yet, by all means, give up your vote. I am most excited to see what the results will be. 4 votes in. Alright, finally, the tie is broken. But let's see what else can happen. I'm gonna give the poll, say, about 2 to 3 minutes. Yeah, that seems about reasonable. You know what? No, I'm gonna make it 6 minutes. Why 6? I'm random. Don't ask. I just do these things. House of Jen. Hey T, have you considered reading any of the Dr. Seuss H.P. Lovecraft crossover books? No, but I am aware of them, and I'm not entirely sure if it is... Wait, hold on, Jen. When you say if considered reading, like reading on the channel or reading in private, because... Private I can do, but I'm not entirely sure if it's allowed on the channel because Dr. Seuss isn't... I'm a kinda... How to say it? I'm kinda left in a weird spot with Dr. Seuss, whether or not that's in public domain or not. CCG says, my apologies, my daughter, niece and I went to a national park known as... South Mountain. See, I read that as Sith Mountain, and I was so happy that there was a Star Wars-related mountain in the USA that I might actually want to visit, but apparently it's not. Sith Mountain. Now that would be... Oh, that should be an epic place if that was real. 5 more minutes to the vote, people. I see for now that one Gothic oneself is in the lead with 2 votes of the 4. By all means, if you haven't voted yet, now is the time. Little sip. In private, they aren't public domain, says House of Gen. Alright, good. So I am aware of their existence, and they are on my reading list. Problem is, my reading list is abysmally long. Let me actually, where is it? I should have it here somewhere. That's my notebook. Yeah. Nope. Yeah, somewhere in the middle. So that will take a while before I get to those, but they are on my reading list. Alright, we have 5 votes, and it looks like the majority is swinging to the one Gothic oneself. Alright. Rose, wait, you have a literal list? Yes, of course I have a literal list. I like to read books. I have a list of books I want to read, and if I hear of books that are supposedly good, I put them on the list. Rose, you're a necromancer. You should know this. Don't you have a grimoire somewhere? Same thing, just without the spells. Let's see. Oh, I know the perfect Gothic poem. It's one of my favorites. It's also one of those It's also one of those poems that kinda got me rolling in my current role, if you will. Let me just prepare that one already. It's quite a famous one, mind you. There we are. And let me also, just in case the vote could still swing anyway, let me just get my own Google Docs out for me own poem. Which one though? Salesman Nursery? I mean, it's... I don't know. Salesman Nursery? No. I've already done that one. I had some DrTorment related ones, didn't I? Somewhere? Yes? No? Maybe? Yes? Ah, yes, here's one of those. See, for the uninitiated here, sometimes I dabble into making a song, just like a little hobby of mine, like lyric writing, not actually making a song. I cannot sing, and I cannot sing for the life of me. But sometimes you can say these songs can also be read as poetry, a bit. And I do have something here about 2 pages long, so it should be fun. Speaking of which, back to the live stream. What's the time? We have 5 votes in, once more, and I see that indeed one Gothic oneself has won. Let me just end the poll there then. Here we are. Poll results. Alright then, as per the poll, I have the perfect readings, but before I start, let me just have a little look on the chat first, because I see I have missed a few things. Raven asking, hasn't he passed? Ah, the author for the Dr. Seuss Lovecraft thing. Yes. Rose, the list of books I want to read is in the ether. Well, you know what? Fair enough. It's not an actual physical list. Well, it is with me. I like paper. I'm sorry. I'm an old grumpy old lich. Creepy CCG. For the love of God, Dr. Keefe. Dr. Keefe? Oh. No, that's autocorrect, I'm going to assume. For the love of God, Dr. Torment, please tell me you're not one of those Draculas that she's a ghost and hides under his blanket while sucking his thumb. Oh, no, sweet summer child, I really am not that kind of Dracula. Rose, you know, since Rincewind, I'm more on that level. I don't know why my phone added since. Ah, yeah, autocorrect does that, Rose. Trust me, phones be thucky like that. CCG, hey, question. As a vampire, I was wondering, while you're out looking, lol, have you ever found someone's blood that you wish you hadn't tasted? Hypothetically, of course, speaking. Hypothetically. Quite a few, yes. Quite a few. Kind of depends on the diet, whether or not they go about and eat a lot of greasy stuff. That just makes the blood taste really weird. You don't want that. You don't want that over the tongue, believe me. It's like all droopy. Ugh. Also, smoking and alcohol. Like, the alcohol is actually fun. Like, if they had a lot of alcohol, you can actually get drunk yourself as a vampire and enjoy yourself by going out and have your way with drunk people. Haha. But that said, if they have done the drogas, then oh no, especially not. I would not recommend drinking the blood of those who have taken in some alternative medicine, if you will. Trust me, that is... you'll become a wizard in no time, and not the good kind. Microplastics, indeed. That's also a thing, Rose. Indeed, indeed. Let me see. First reading... Oh. Ah, okay, CCG. You did voice to text. Alright, now that explains a lot. I was already thinking, who the hell is Dr. Keefe? But now we know. In any case, the first reading towards the end, unfortunately, of our lovely little stream is going to be a doozy one, let me tell you. No, not you. There you go. Let me just put it on the screen before I say anything else. You should all know it. And it's also a little bit of a tribute to the mod who is here today for us. Raven, can you guess? Before I put it on screen, that is. Can you guess what the first reading will be of? By all means, make your guess if you maybe know it. Like, I couldn't be clearer with the hinting here. Indeed, Edgar Allan Poe's The Raven is what we'll be covering in a moment. It is one of those poems that kinda made this channel as to what it is. It's thanks to Edgar Allan Poe poetry that I actually got to read poetry on the channel, so I got that idea. And you know what? For the best. It's actually for the best, because I have grown to love actually reading poetry out loud instead of just to myself. And I do hope that people enjoy this old lich reading gothic and dark poetry every now and again. At least I'd love to think so. There we are, that's better. More in the center of the screen. Oh, I forgot, because I'm reading, I should always put up Little Tormy. There we go. Little Tormy, hello there. That is a very unfortunate place for Little Tormy to be. Let me just, no, let me just move him along. Why can't I move him along? There we go, that's better. That was a very unfortunate place for Little Tommy to be in, but we fixed it. It's fine. In any case, I present you The Raven by Edgar Allan Poe. Let me first take a little sip, because that is quite a hefty reading. Okay. Just move the keyboard a little bit. I want to have the microphone to me. Here we go. Once upon a midnight dreary, while I pondered weak and weary over many a quaint and curious volume of forgotten lore, while I nodded nearly napping, suddenly there came a tapping, as of someone gently rapping at my chamber door. "'Tis some visitor," I muttered, tapping at my chamber door. Only this, and nothing more. And distinctly I remember it was in the bleak December, and each separate dying ember wrought its ghost upon the floor. Eagerly I wished the morrow, vainly I had sought to borrow from my books surcease of sorrow, sorrow for the lost Lenore, for the rare and radiant maiden whom the angels name Lenore, nameless here forevermore. And the silken, sad, uncertain rustling of each purple curtain thrilled me, filled me with fantastic terrors never felt before, so that now, to still the beating of my heart, I stood repeating, "'Tis some visitor entreating entrance at my chamber door, some late visitor entreating entrance at my chamber door. This it is, and nothing more." Presently my soul grew stronger, hesitating, then no longer. "Sir," said I, "or madam, truly your forgiveness I implore, but the fact is I was napping, and so gently you came rapping, and so faintly you came tapping, tapping at my chamber door, that I scarce was sure I heard you. Here I opened wide the door. Darkness there, and nothing more. Deep into that darkness peering, long I stood there, wondering, fearing, doubting, dreaming dreams no mortal ever dared to dream before. But the silence was unbroken, and the stillness gave no token, and the only word there spoken was the whispered word, "Lenore?" This I whispered, and an echo murmured back the word, "Lenore." Merely this, and nothing more. Back into the chamber turning, all my soul within me burning, soon again I heard I heard a tapping somewhat louder than before. "Surely," said I, "surely that is something at my window lattice. Let me see, then, what there it is, and this mystery explore. Let my heart be still a moment, and this mystery explore. 'Tis the wind, and nothing more." Open here I flung the shutter, when with many a flirt and flutter, in there stepped the stately raven of the saintly days of yore. Not the least obeisance made he, not a minute stopped or stayed he, but with mien of lord or lady, perched above my chamber door, perched upon a bust of Pallas, just above my chamber door, perched and said, and nothing more. Then this ebony bird beguiling my sad fancy into smiling, by the grave and stern decorum of the countenance it wore. Though thy crest be shorn and shaven, thou, I said, art sure no craven, ghastly, grim, and ancient raven, wandering from the nightly shore. Tell me what thy lordly name is on the night's Plutonian shore. Quoth the raven, Nevermore. Much I marvelled this ungainly fowl to hear discourse so plainly, though its answer little meaning, little relevancy bore. For we cannot help agreeing that no living human being ever yet blessed with seeing bird above his chamber door, bird or beast upon the sculptured bust above his chamber door, with such a name as Nevermore. But the raven, sitting lonely on the placid bust, spoke only that one word, as if his soul in that one word he did outpour. Nothing farther than he uttered, not a feather than he fluttered, till I scarcely more than muttered, Other friends have flown before, and on the morrow he will leave me, as my hopes have flown before. Then the bird said, Nevermore. Startled at the stillness broken by reply so aptly spoken, Doubtless, said I, what it utters is its only stock and store, caught from some unhappy master, whom unmerciful disaster followed fast and followed faster, till his songs one burden bore, till the dirges of his hope that melancholy burden bore of never, nevermore. But the raven still beguiling all my fancy into smiling, straight I wheeled a cushioned seat in front of bird, and bust and door. Then upon a velvet sinking, I betook myself to linking fancy unto fancy, thinking what this ominous bird of yore, what this grim, ungainly, ghastly, gaunt, and ominous bird of yore meant in croaking Nevermore. This I sat engaged in guessing, but no syllable expressing to the fowl whose fiery eyes now burned into my bosom's core. This and more I sat divining, with my head at ease reclining on the cushion's velvet lining that the lamplight gloated o'er, but whose velvet violet lining with the lamplight gloating o'er she shall pass, nevermore. Then methought the air grow denser, perfumed from an unseen censer, swung by seraphim whose footfalls tinkled on the tufted floor. Wretch, I cried, thy God have lent thee, by these angels he hath sent thee, respite, respite and nepenthe from thy memories of Lenore. Quaff, oh quaff this kind of nepenthe, and forget this lost Lenore. Quoth the raven, Nevermore. Prophet, said I, thing of evil, prophet still if bird or devil, where the tempter sent or where the tempest tossed thee here ashore, desolate yet all undaunted, on this desert land enchanted, on this home by horror haunted, tell me truly, I implore, is there balm in Gilead? Tell me, I implore. Quoth the raven, Nevermore. Prophet, said I, thing of evil, prophet still if bird or devil, by that heaven that bends above us, by that God we both adore, tell the soul whose sorrow laden, if within the distant Aidenn it shall clasp a sainted maiden, whom the angels name Lenore. Clasp a rare and radiant maiden, whom the angels name Lenore. Quoth the raven, Nevermore. Be that word our sign of parting, bird or fiend, I shriek, upstarting. Get thee back into the tempest and the night's Plutonian shore. Leave no black plume of a token of that lie that thy soul hath spoken. Leave my loneliness unbroken. quit the bust above my door. Take thy beak from out my heart, and take thy form from my door. Quoth the raven, nevermore. And the raven, never flitting, still is sitting on the pallid dust of Pallas, just above my chamber door. And his eyes have all the seeming of a demon's that is dreaming. And the lamplight o'er him streaming throws a shadow on the floor. And my soul from out that shadow that lies floating on the floor shall be lifted nevermore. Okay. Whew, it's been a while since I read that one. Edgar Allan Poe's The Raven. In as a little thank you and tribute to Dreadful Raven, who could fill in today as a mod. Ooh. I kind of need a minute here. I kind of need a minute or two before I go to the second poem. That's a little more intense than I thought it would have been. Ooh. So that said, I have made a video of the Raven on the channel itself. Do I still have my studio open somewhere? Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Here we go. Let me just go ahead and give that a little search. There we are. So for the people who prefer to see the video instead of the live version, by all means, let me just insert a little link here about Edgar Allan Poe's The Raven. Just get my keyboard back here. And there you go. Once again, for the people who prefer to watch the video, by all means, leave a like and leave a comment. Feed those algorithm demons. Because by God do they need to be fed on a near daily basis just to compete with certain non-human creators. Hint, hint. House of Jen, excellent reading tea. Thank you, Jen. Thank you very much. CCG also said a few things. Let's see. I love and enjoy writing poetry. Me too, CCG. Hearing you read Buzz, I can so totally see you sitting on a coffin-shaped couch reading this poem. Chilling, narrated version of a timeless classic with a touch of airiness of the undead. Thank you, CTG. Thank you very much for that one. Like I said, it's one of those poems I think you should... Like, you can start it out calmly, but I feel like as the poem progresses, you should really give a little verve into it, because it gets, quote-unquote, a little intenser. It helps. You may have noticed that I basically adopted that into it. But here's the thing, and a friend of mine, TJ Hodder from Tapes of Trepidation, by the way, he also did a reading of The Raven, and he also did it with verve, and then he told me that his main inspiration was the Simpsons episode. Halloween, I believe it was one of the Halloween episodes. Basically, the Simpsons did a whole mini episode about Edgar Allan Poe's The Raven. Quite stunningly well done, I must add. And here's the thing, as I heard his version of The Raven, TJ's, yeah, I could kind of hear it. I already went like, that kind of reminds me of the Simpsons episode. And then he, well, told me it was. It was a nice little click-on moment. Once again, he's a good friend. He has a channel called Tapes of Trepidation. Highly recommend giving that a watch as well. Do tell him I sent you and say hello. Let's see. Then for the second reading, one of my own personal ones. Now, mind you that I'm one of those people that thinks he is an abysmal writer, and especially when it comes to poetry. So this one is a little poem slash song I made for DrTorment, or basically the DrTorment universe, if you will, the Torment verse, as I like to call it. It is called The Asylum Calls, which is penned by yours truly, and it is about 2 pages long. Now, mind you that it's not long. It doesn't have any long sentences. I think at the time of writing, I wanted this to be some sort of a chant or song, something like that, but I didn't really know what the hell I was doing with it. Basically, is what I'm trying to say. But that's it. That's the thing that I'll be reading for you today as a departure from this live stream. Let me first just update the text on the screen there. Oop. By, let's say, just DrTorment. Nope. There we go. Ooh, that's a bit too big. There we go, that's a better. Little Tommy is still reading in the bottom of the screen, but that's fitting because I am about to read anyway. There we are. That is all in place. Let me just check a few things before I continue. Rose, your typing has such an interesting cadence. Rose, what the hell does that mean? My typing has a cadence? Is this a thing? Is this really a thing? Does typing have a cadence? I need to know this. I need to know this for science reasons. Please enlighten me, Rose. It's a thing to me, says she. You know what? Fair enough. Alright then, with that, let's move on to the... wait, I'm also... wait, before I go on with this last reading, I see that Rose also asked me another question in the Q&A. What are your 2 favorite cryptids? Ooh, that's a nice one. What is... Why? Here's the thing, I never really... I always got into cryptids, don't get me wrong, but I never really went as far as to say this one is my favorite or this one I dislike. I just went along with it. But that said, one of the first cryptids, which I do find fascinating, by the way, one of the first cryptids I have ever learned about is the classic chupacabra from Mexico/Texas. Or, you know, South United States, if you will. Like the goat sucker. That's such a interesting concept. Basically a vampiric wolf lizard. There's so many different interpretations of what the chupacabra is. I am not entirely sure, but yeah, if you're gonna drain the blood of all the goats, that basically spells vampire, but for animals to me. And I found that concept pretty interesting. For the second one, I want to go for a cryptid that has been known around these parts in Belgium. Let me have a look. Because I keep forgetting the name, that's the thing. Madame Strangeways and I actually talked about this in a guest stream that she was in. I don't remember which one. But we were basically talking about cryptids. And I think... Yes, the Kludde. Now, I hear you say, but Torment, what the hell is a Kludde? Well, the Kludde is from Flemish folklore, right? And how to describe it? It's basically a werewolf with wings. Let that sink in. A werewolf with wings. Did that sunk in? Good. That's basically why I loved it. Like I'm more into vampires myself, don't get me wrong. but it's actually not even a werewolf. I think it's more like a hellhound with wings, but it has traits of a werewolf about it. Yeah, something like that. Something like that. It's purely Flemish folklore, by the way. Like, it's not the kind of thing you'd see outside of, or hear about outside of Flanders or Belgium. And even around here, it's pretty obscure. So you're welcome, chat. You're welcome for that. Let me actually spell it out, because how I pronounce it is a little different than you'd read it. There you go. De Kludde. By all means, have a little look what it is. I highly recommend it. Also, hello, babes, maraba. Hello, how are you? Welcome to the stream. You didn't miss out this time. Welcome. Welcome. But you did join just around the end, though. So to recap what has happened in the stream, we've had some fun, we've had some talks. I was reading a creepypasta called The Alp, a poem by Charles Baudelaire called A Carrion, or a Carcass, if you will. Then I read a Reddit story called The Wendigo's Call, of which I also have made a video about in the channel. It's nice, short, and one of the first immersive sound videos I made. Just about now, you did miss the Raven reading I just did, which has been received fairly well, if I can go about the chat there. And now we were just answering Rose's question in the Q&A about what my favorite cryptids were. So by all means, I'll just leave the Q&A up for a moment. If you've got any questions for me about, doesn't really matter about what, paranormal or horror related, personal, doesn't really matter. If you have a question for me, by all means, the Q&A is right over there. And I will read it as soon as... And there's Rose again with a new question. She just keeps dropping them in there. Let's see. Rose is asking, do you have any haunted areas near you similar to the Appalachian Mountains or the Black Forest? Actually haunted places near me. Like that? Not really. I mean, there is some talk at the coast during World War II. I don't know if how much of a history buff everyone here is, but I kinda am. So during World War II, the Germans built the Atlantic Wall, right? Basically bunkers along the coastline bordering the North Sea, and therefore the the Atlantic Wall is what it was called, like a network of walls and bunkers that was just going all along the shores of Western Europe. And we had a bit of that too around here. And it is said that the bunkers, now abandoned, which you can still visit nowadays, by the way, are haunted in the way of... you can still hear German soldiers shouting and screaming as they were sometimes buried or burned alive during the assaults. Like, no, Belgium was not a place for D-Day. No, but they did have a landing here as well. Not as epic as D-Day, mind you, but they were a little more... Let's say that the Allies on our coast were a little more liberal with the Geneva Conventions. Like, the kind of stuff you'd only actually see over at the Mid-Atlantic Theater with Japan. That's that kind of brutality that was used. There you go. The more you know. Not, of course, the Germans were a tad worse, but, they kind of deserved that. Babes Maraba damn right says, I'm known to be past fashionably late. Like, extra fashionably. Fair enough. Fair enough. You indeed are. Let's see. Then, final reading for today is going to be the poem that I penned down myself, which I have no idea is supposed to be a poem or a song or a chant or whatever. Here's the thing, when I write these things down, I don't really have a sense of where the hell I'm going with it. I just put the words on the document and that's that. I'll stop when I'll stop. That's my MO, if you will, in writing. That's it. Without further ado, reading The Asylum Calls, written down by yours truly. The asylum calls all darkness fro, where shapeless souls and anguish grows. Through rusty gates my mists of fright, drawing closer those that fear the night. Like great ones in voids unknown, I feed on gloom that is your own. A hidden mind is clearer, a vision made on a silver mirror. The moment you hear cats and crows, your life is forlorn within my shadows. Here I am the silence, in you seething deep, the wish all want when foes are asleep. A moving mind, a final dread, I'll make sure you keep me fed. Now come, sit down, you weary soul, you bring your hope, but yet again forlorn. In cruel scopes I'll weave your pain, my asylum's fuel, your anguished flame. The agent he fell to my dark trance, chasing horrors in my shadowed dance. His unborn lost, his wife I drained, each light he finds, my words shall maim. I am master of the symphony, conducting threats for crawling entropy. In emerald lights you'll never know, I thrive by those who sink so low. Yes, come and join me in the frights, forsake desires, give up the fight. In murky mire your mind lies, the asylum blooms as hope dies. Agent, when we meet, no despair is divine, and in my asylum your dread will shine. Forget yourself, it's me you shall feed, as a fine wine I'll drink your misery. Kitty cat, please, you have been silent this entire time. Seriously, at the last few stanzas. Are you kidding me? You've got food. I've given you food. There's nothing in that corner. No, stop looking at the corner. Oh, fine. What's in there? Ugh. Kitty chaos, I swear. Redoing that part. Agent, when we meet, no despair is divine, and in my asylum your dread will shine. Forget yourself, it's me you shall feed, as a fine wine I'll drink your misery. I am that touch you'll never see, an eldritch force, eternally. No flesh to take, no soul to blame, only fear and loss, and your name. No. What's in the corner? What? No, there's nothing in that corner. You little princess, you. Now come, I'll have your gasps. The life you seek belongs to death. With every note you'll fade away, my tendrils grow and dreams decay. And your mind dims in my halls, that time you give up on all. You linger here in endless fright, a husk consumed by dead lights. For fear, you see, is the oldest thing. Its tunes I know, and truths it brings. Forever bound there is no end. In darkness lost, you'll see me, my friend. And there we have it, the Asylum Calls, written down by yours truly. I do apologize for the kitty chaos. It's a little habit of me whenever I hear Vici meowing that I kind of respond to her right now. It's really a habit I really should not be doing during live streams. I get that, it's not really professional and all that. But here's the thing, when my daughter calls, I better answer. Otherwise she'll be even louder. But if inclined, now that she's gone back upstairs, I can always redo the poem for those who felt that the interruption was a little jarring, of course. I do have to have a little sip of something before, if I were to do that, though. But by all means, do let me know, chat. If you feel that the interruption was a little jarring, by all means, I'll redo the poem, but if not, then I'll just leave it as it is. I might make a separate video of the poem itself, but that would be considered exclusive content. It's something I've always said. If it's something that I've personally written down, it is something that is only meant for Patreon members and channel members. Mainly because I also need to make some exclusive content very soon. I should really do that. Alright, I see that everybody is satisfied with the version itself. Excellent. Just put that away. Little Tormy, go back to the corner. Maybe it was you that Vici was seeing. Ah, Dreadful, welcome, welcome back to the stream. And yes, there's always something in the corner. Like me when you're going to sleep. If you see that shadowy form again, I will not apologize. I like watching you sleep, Dreadful. Sweet dreams. Creepy Clown Girl, to Discord we go, indeed. Babes Merhaba. Yes, well done. And the kitty is a great addition. Trust me, you should have been here. You should have been here earlier, Merhaba. Like, my God, the kitty chaos is basically a canon staple in DrTorment lore at this point. House of Gem. It's part of your charm, T. Thank you, Jen. Thank you. Rose. Nothing like a haunted corner during a demented poem. Thank you very much. I do think my poem was rather demented. House of Jen. I was fun hanging out with y'all. I gotta go. Alright, Jen, you take care of yourself and see you very soon again. Dreadful Anecdotes. Well, there's plenty of room. Well, that is true. Dreadful Anecdotes. No, sorry. CCG. What a great stream. I'm going to eat and see you in your server. Thanks for an awesome stream. Yes, it was. Thank you for joining CCG. And for all you here still attending, this is also the part where I have to call it a night. It is about 2 AM where I'm at, so it's time to go bye-bye and go to sleep. For me, even an eldritch terror such as myself does need a little bit of rest before I terrorize the rest of you. So with all that said, I hope everybody enjoyed your time here. Once again, you are free to visit the description in the... You are free to visit the description below, I mean to say. Excuse me. Have a look at my social links and how you can also support the Asylum yourself, by all means. There is channel memberships and Patreon that is open, should you be inclined to join up with supporting the Asylum. If not, then a like and a comment is always appreciated as well. And with that, I bid you all adieu. And remember, don't fall asleep ever. And as a final note, I also once again want to thank Dreadful Raven for standing up as a moderator here today. Once again, Raven, thank you. And, well, let's hope for future days. And with that, sweet dreams, everyone.